of that, we'll just use the TypeScript playground here. Really interesting. I've played with it before. As you can see, my name is already there. I'll just make sure to zoom in or zoom out a bit. I don't know. And here's another cool thing about using this playground. It transpiles immediately for you, so that you can see everything that is going on. So, for example, when you write in TypeScript, it automatically transpiles it to regular JavaScript. Anything below ES6. So we are looking at ES20, 15 below, something like that. So here is a basic code in a TypeScript, and here we are declaring a. But instead of doing what we'll have done normally, so in JavaScript, this is what we'll have done. We'll just do a equal to Samson, and then we can run the code, and of course it will still run. But here we can now declare a layer of type. So this would also run, but the difference here is that you cannot reassign this even if you wanted to. So let's do a let. So when I say reassign, I mean you can't change the type. So let's use a let, and this will still run, right? But how about if we want to change this to a number? So let's say a equal to 100, something like this. So let's make sure this works as it should be. And so even from the editor here, it's already telling us that type number is not assignable to a type string. So this is the cool thing about TypeScript. You will not unknowingly reassign something, a different data type, to another data type. So it has to be a string. So you see, as soon as we convert it to a string, our editor here stops yelling at us. So that is it. And so let's get started immediately, properly, as we follow through with our curriculum here. All right. So this is curriculum. All right. Now, in the types, we've already touched on to number and string in our demonstration. We could, touch more on this stuff. So let me just copy it, and we'll comment it out like this. So this is what we want to cover, and let me make sure to move this to this side. So we already pointed on number, and we already pointed at string. How about if you want to declare a boolean? So if you want to declare a boolean, you could just say is man, something like that, equivalent to. So we make this equivalent to true. All right, and you can log it to the console if you choose to, console.log, and say isman, like that. So when you check out isman, it gives you true, but we didn't specify, and so for us to specify, we need to add that, hey, this is a boolean. All right, so this is how you specify for a boolean. If it goes beyond this, some people would use any. So what is any for? So when you put any, it's as though you didn't put anything. So ordinarily, when you don't put anything, it will take up or infer what you are saying based on the value you have assigned it. But when you specify what it should be, then you can't assign something else. So for example, if I have made this a boolean, and then I try to give this a string, you see I'm already getting an error telling me that string is not assignable to a type boolean. But if I put any here, then it wouldn't matter because any value would go. But this is really dangerous, and it's really discouraged. As much as possible, you shouldn't use it. So it is even better that you use something like unknown, which is the next data type that we want to talk about. So using unknown, yes, shows that you don't know the specific type at the moment, but you would assign this later. So at a later time, you could choose to say something like, okay, isman as a string, something like this. All right. So when you check the type of I think type should work here. Type of isman, it should give you a string. You see, it gives us a string. So we can clear this off. Let's clear off the log. So when we run this, it gives us a type of string, showing that it has been casted to a string. We'll talk about this a little more as we continue. Then we have type of undefined, and we have type of null. So these are basically types that don't really refer to anything or things you hardly use. But just know that this type exists, and there's some other type that exists. So after covering this, the next thing we want to look at is array. So the type of array. So let's clear this and say we are looking at array at this moment. All right. All right, so let's say names, and we want this array to be, array of names. So we have Sam, we have Ebere, and we have Njoku, like that. So when you check when we try to, sorry, we have not even assigned. So let's assign what it should be. So how do you declare this array? What is a particular type? Now for this, there are two ways you can specify. So first of all, you can choose to say that, hey, this is an array like this, but you also need to specify what that array would contain. So you could see from here, it's telling you that this is a generic type, that it requires that you pass in what it should contain. So you could just pass in here string, and so once you pass in string, it stops yelling at you. So this means that this is an array of string. Now you could also make this an array of number like this, but notice that immediately we make it an array of number, it shows that what we've passed here is wrong. So this is how you declare an array. But another way you could also declare an array would be to specify the types that it will be containing, then also specify that this is going to be an array. So you see, as soon as we add that the two square brackets, then the error is gone, and we have our clean array. So we could check our array and see what happens here. So once we run it, you see it's showing us everything as it should be. So this is how we declare an array. How about an object? How do you declare an object? So for you to declare an object, you follow similar pattern. So to declare it, let's go back like this. Let's say let's make this person, something like that. So a person, and then we want this to be a key value pair, whereby the key is maybe a string, and the value could also be a string. So let's do something like this, and then let's say name equal to Sam, age equal to 24. So let's make this a string. We want everything to be a string. We could add something like address, and then we say Nigeria. So make sure to put this instead of a string, so like this. So this is an object, but how do you specify exactly how the object should be structured? So you come to the person here, and then you specify by saying something like record. So record, and then inside of here you specify how you want it to be. So you want it to be string. This should be a comma, by the way, not a colon. So string, which means that you expect that both the key and the value should be a string, like that. All right, something like this. You see, as soon as you get this, it works. If we change this to a number, then you see we are getting an error all through. So for this not to be an error, we need to change everything here to a number. So for example, we change this to a 1. You notice that name is no longer yelling, to age to a 2, and then change this to a 4, and everything is working perfectly as we would want it. All right, so this is how you declare it. But another way you could declare this would be to use something like a curly brace like this, and here you specify what the key should be. So key of a string, and then this outside of it here you also specify that, okay, you want this to be a number, like so. So once you do it this way, you see the editor isn't yelling. It shows that you specify that you want the key to be a string and the value of the key to be a number, just like that. So this is how you declare an object. All right, so we can check these types off and say these two are off our list. So